I've seen it too many times. When discussing the American Express Platinum, it's tempting to show the card's full potential value and declare that's what you're gonna get. But it's not that simple. It's what you could get if you max out all the points and use every last penny of the statement credits, of which there are plenty. AMEX Platinum's a little like if a high-end coupon book and a travel card had a baby. With all those perks, it's a very seductive card. So just like Odysseus lured by the sound of sirens, we too must tie ourselves to the mast so we can examine this card objectively, because the unintended consequence of a card like this is it could push you to spend more than you normally would. And before you say, that had never happened to me, just know that's exactly what every previous card owner said before they overextended themselves. At that point, you need to ask yourself, who owns who here? In this video, I examine the card's benefits through a much more conservative, dare I say, realistic lens. I'm genuinely thinking about getting the card myself. So I did some research and I'll tell you my decision at the end.
I can't wait.
But first we have some ground to cover because the AMEX Platinum, like most other travel cards, is points-based. You'll earn 5 Amex points for every dollar you spend on airfare booked through the Amex website. And there's 5x points on hotels booked through the website, and the options are plentiful. But I'm also putting an asterisk by this benefit because in order to get, you need to give. So we'll come back to that later. Then 1x on all other purchases. This is not a very good everyday spending card, but if you are looking for an everyday spending card that also gives you cash back, I got you covered. Now here's a little sign-up bonus loophole. Standard rate these days is 80,000 points after you spend $8,000 in 6 months. Or go to the Amex pre-qualify site, enter some basic information, it does not impact your credit, and within seconds you'll get a tailored sign-up offer. So I did this, and just know that if you don't get the result you're looking for, there's still hope. I'll show you how to take an extra free bite at that apple later on, and I'll tell you what happened to me.
I think I'll pass.
But first, all these points are just funny money unless we can turn them into like real, actual things. How much is an Amex point worth, and what's the value of these 80,000 points out on the economy? Well, you can redeem your points for a statement credit at 0.6 cents per point. That's trash, don't do that. If you book a hotel using points through the Amex website, then each point is worth 0.7 cents. And since that hotel booking is done through a third party, Amex, you might not get elite nights or bonus points for that stay. According to the interwebs, results may vary, but this valuation of 0.7 cents is not trash, but not desirable. You book a flight on the Amex website, 1 point equals 1 penny. Straightforward, and now we're getting somewhere. You can also transfer these points directly to other airlines or hotels, and that's where we can find some extra value. Most airline partners are 1-to-1. A transfer to Marriott will also get you 1-to-1, and if you feel like cannonballing into the Bonvoy world, you know what to do. Or a transfer to Hilton will get you 2 Hilton points for every 1 Amex point. But it's still just funny money. Let's make it equal serious money. The highest valuation for an Amex point that I've seen is 2.8 cents. That's high. And that's when you regularly max out the value with an added transfer bonus. And while we're talking value, if you've gotten even a little bit so far and it's not too much trouble, clicking that like button would really help out this small channel. We're taking a conservative approach. We'll start by mirroring the points guy's valuation of 2 cents per point. But that's by maxing out 100% of the points 100% of the time. While ideal, not always feasible. Let's build in a little margin for human error and personal preference. I'm an 80% solution guy, so if I can consistently get at least 80% of the value, I'm content. 80% of 2 cents is 1.6 cents, so we'll roll with the 80K sign-up bonus being just shy of 1,300 bucks. And as soon as you hit that 8K spending in 6 months, you're out of the hole and ahead of the game by 585 bucks. Remember, we're still in year 1, it gets better, but we're only 6 months away from that next $695 annual fee. Now with the points situation under control, what else do we get? Let's hit all the travel perks first, then we'll roll right into the coupon book statement credits after. By the way, do you say coupon or is it coupon? Ideally, the recommended travel clip is about 6 flights per year. Book through the Amex website at that 5x multiplier. I always like to do these valuations on the conservative side, so let's say that you only travel 4 times a year. That'll be our framework for discussing these numbers. 1 round trip flight every quarter. Right off the bat, there's a $200 statement credit for airline incidentals. When you get the card, you pick one of these airlines. Give it some thought. If you already have elite status with an airline or you have a co-branded credit card, there's a good chance that you're getting a lot of those incidentals for free anyways. And don't forget about the budget airlines. Maybe you're inclined to take a cheap flight, but know that you're gonna get hammered with that checked bag, or worse, you'd like a cup of coffee after takeoff. Now the purchase needs to show up as a separate transaction. So don't pay for the little add-ons during booking. Now here's some common expenses that are covered and some that are not covered. Note that Wi-Fi situation. Wi-Fi is often provided by a third party and not the airline, so it's not reimbursable. So if we hit the 80% mark of that $200 travel credit, we get back 160 bucks. Next up, Amex's Global Lounge Access. AMEX Platinum gives you a ton of lounge options. New for 2024, it's going to be more restrictive getting into the Delta Sky Club, so I just want to make sure you're tracking that. It's hard to put a price tag on lounges, but we'll try. We'll call the average cost of an airport meal 30 bucks. So you save 30 bucks by eating at the lounge rather than eating elsewhere in the terminal. And I won't even factor in the lounge entry fee that usually starts at about 50 and goes up from there. So you got 4 quarterly trips, and we'll even say that your home airport doesn't have a lounge. So you can only use a lounge on your return flight. So with only 4 proper lounge visits per year, you're still recovering 120 bucks. Bare minimum, ultra conservative, not bad. But how are you getting to and from the airport? Because last time you had that close call hitchhiking, and when you text your friends to ask them what they're doing on Saturday at 7 a.m., they leave you on red. Enter the $200 Uber credit. You get 15 bucks a month, use or lose, for Uber rides or Uber Eats. Then in December, on top of that 15, you get an extra 20. For calculation purposes here, I think it's reasonable that during those 4 trips, you'd spend 15 bucks with Uber, and we'll say the full 35 in December. So we can expect to get at least 95 bucks back from that Uber credit. And that's less than half the amount. You still have 7 other months of possible Uber expenses. And whether you travel someplace or do a staycation, there's an annual $200 statement credit for the American Express, Fine Hotels and Resorts, and the hotel collection properties. There are some nuances here that we need to address so that we can keep our wits about us. These are prepaid stays, but I'll show you how we can use that to our benefit. With Fine Hotels and Resorts, you can just stay 1 night, but at the hotel collection, it's a 2-night minimum. And both come with a $100 experience credit, which is good for dining or spa, resort activities, etc. I'd say using this $200 credit over the course of a year is super doable, especially if you're staying at the hotel collection property. But in the spirit of our conservative valuation, we'll say that you only spend 80% of that $100 experience credit. But remember how I said these were prepaid? These are prepaid stays. So here's how you can leverage that to stay a little bit longer and get double the credit. It looks like this. On December 2nd, you book a 1-night stay for January 20th at any FHR. Then on January 15th, you book another 1-night stay for January 21st at the same property, and now you have a $400 statement credit. Regardless if you put those credits back to back or not, we're clocking this in at 280 bucks, grossing us $1,935 in just travel bennies, and netting us a cool $1,240. Year 1, not even including any coupon benefits. And there's still that way to possibly bump up your 80K sign-up bonus. But what happens the second year? Or the third, when that 80K is a distant memory? Those following years, if our travel life doesn't change, just in travel bennies, we're starting out each year 40 bucks in the hole. So year 2, let's recover those 2 Andy Jacksons and get back in black. Nope. Copyright. It'd be sweet if we could play that song though. Enter Amex Platinum's other parent, the high-end coupon book. Now the amount of value here will vary greatly person to person. Nonetheless, we'll try to parse it out. As I go through these list of benefits, resist the temptation to think, oh, that's a nice benefit, perhaps I'll start doing that. But rather think, is this an expense that I already incur or I'm planning to already incur on a regular basis? What we're trying to avoid is having a card like this push us to spend more than we normally would. I think an easy credit for most people to spend each year is the $240 digital entertainment credit. So we'll just lock that in all its glory. Now this is where it becomes a little more choose your own adventure. Each year you'll get 155 bucks towards Walmart Plus's monthly membership, $300 in Equinox credits each year. That's like 1 month at Equinox. $300 towards a Soul Cycle at-home bike. $100 annual credit on purchases at Saks Fifth Avenue. That's broken up into $50 the first half of the year and then $50 the second half. $189 credit for a Clear membership, or $85 or $100 credit towards TSA Pre or Global Entry. If you can plow through the Global Entry paperwork, you get both. Even tougher to put a valuation on, but nice perks nonetheless, are the complimentary Gold Elite status at Marriott and Hilton. And then you'll get status at a variety of car rental agencies. Now remember how I said you can get that free second swing at the sign-up bonus? Here's how. Do the pre-qualify thing and see what it spits out. At this point, you're in a negotiation with Amex. Amex knows you're interested and wants you, but wants you at the minimum points possible that it thinks you'll take. So they might lowball you. I did the pre-qual thing and they offered me 125,000 points. I thought, nice, I'll think about it, and I moved on. Play it cool. Fast forward about an hour, pop back on the Amex website just to verify some stuff, and through the magic of internet cookies, staring me right in the face is an offer for 150,000 points. At our valuation, that's 2,400 just to sign up. In year one alone, with the numbers we just went through, it pumps it up to a little over 3K. How could I say no? That's the maximum point offer. This is a no-brainer. So I walked away, but here's why, and maybe you're in the same boat. First, I already get some of these perks from my Capital One Venture X. I don't need double lounge access. There's only one of me as far as I know. But second, and more importantly, I realized that I'd have to change my lifestyle to ensure that I'm getting 80% of those benefits, which would result in an increase in my spending. And I'm okay with increased spending if it's for a good cause, but not if it's just because I got a new credit card. Sorry, charge card. So the solution for me, and perhaps you as well, remains any of these cards. That Venture X has a $395 fee and great perks. I have the Freedom Unlimited, but you might find more value in the Freedom Flex.